Okay, in this video, I want you to get familiar with the library. Hopefully you've already seen this, but just in case, I will walk you through it step by step. The purpose of using the library is that you need to be getting into previous dissertations as well as empirical articles for all of your research. Now, you can go to the Regent Library. Here is the address, regent.edu/LIB. And I just saved it to my desktop here as a favorite, so I can just click on it and it pops up. Now in our library, you have several options. If I just wanted to look for an article, let's say on servant leadership, I could do that. And this searches tons and tons and tons of databases. So it's not going to be specific to Regent students or alumni, which is fine. You can look at full text online, which we would want that because we don't want to have to send a request to the library to send us a hard copy. We also want scholarly journals, including peer-reviewed. We want peer-reviewed journals. So selecting all those are good. We don't really want book reviews or magazine articles. It needs to be a peer-reviewed article or a dissertation. And so we could also click on dissertations, which I'll show you how to get to that one in a minute. So this one here is specifically for articles. Now, when we're looking for articles, many times we want to look for something that's pretty recent. The reason behind that is if I'm going to start a research project, I want to see what other people have done. And if I'm looking 10 years back or sometimes even 5 years back, whatever they've done, and then they say someone else should follow up in their recommendations for future research, that's likely been done already. So possibly looking at the past 1 or 2 years is a good place to start. And you have that button down here. You could click on last 12 months, last 3 years, and that's just a quick search then to see what have people done recently with this. Now we can start poking around in these articles. They're for the most part set up pretty similar. So you'll see, I like to download them. They're just a little bit easier to navigate. You'll see that most of them have an abstract. The abstract is designed to tell you in a very quick, maybe 300 words or less nutshell, what is this article about? So I'll read the article, or the abstract rather, and if it's not anything that's of importance to me, then I scrap this one and I go to the next article. Please don't feel like you have to read every single article from the first word to the last word. Read the abstracts, and if this is not what you're doing, go to something else. Now, I'm just curious about servant leadership in this case. So this article looks okay. Now, my next step, I want to know more about what are their recommendations for future research. So in this abstract, it should tell you what they did and what they found. And then I'm going to go straight to the bottom to look at recommendations for future research. And I'll explain why here in just a second. Okay, there's a conclusion. Here we go, future research directions. Now, sometimes this heading is here, sometimes it's not, but usually the wording of future research or recommendations for future research is somewhere towards the bottom of the article. This is important because we want to know of all the research that they did, now what should someone else do? And this is where being a doctor comes in handy, because if we're just doing a research project or writing a book report or an essay, we don't have to add value to the study. But in this case, we want to see where did they leave off so we can pick the ball up and run with it. Now in this one, they say they, let's see. For example, here they're talking about a lot of the research has looked at consequences and not antecedents of servant leadership. So that would be something that they recommend somebody do some future research on. if we wanted to look at the antecedents. Let's see, future studies should include multiple pathways to explain the effectiveness of servant leadership and compare the psychological process involved. So if any of these recommendations for future research were something that really excited you and you wanted to build your whole study around that, for the most part, sentence, I call that my golden ticket, because that gives you clarity, crystal clear clarity on what your research project's going to be about. In this one here, future research is needed that continues to examine multi-level effects of servant leadership from both the top-down and bottom-up perspectives. So for me, these are fairly vague, which are okay. Sometimes you'll see a recommendation that specifically says you should use this instrument or you should use this group of people. And those I like because they're so clear. But sometimes having this ambiguity also helps because it gives you freedom to do the research project that you want to do. Now, that's important. When you're writing your major project, I want you to take a look at other research for a specific topic of your interest, in this case, servant leadership. Maybe you're interested in followership or spiritual leadership, transformational leadership, any of the theories that you have probably heard about, and see what are the recommendations for future research that you would want to build on. So that's a first step with your major project. Now, in talking about research questions and hypotheses for minor project 1, I want you to also look for hypotheses. Now in this one, this is why I'd like to look at this in a PDF. You can use your find button and look for the word hypothesis or hypotheses and see what they come up with. So there should be, if it's listed right here, servant leadership is positively related to individual level psychological empowerment, engagement, and intrinsic motivation. So here they've combined several aspects together. I like to be a little bit more scientific with this and break it down into parts. So you'd have the individual level of psychological empowerment as hypothesis 1. Hypothesis 2 might be a comparison between servant leadership and engagement. And hypothesis 3 could be servant leadership and intrinsic motivation. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. And as you work with different professors and you read different articles and different dissertations, you'll see that this wording is similar, but not always exact. And that's okay too. Let's look at their hypothesis 1B. Servant leadership is positively related to individual level follower trust, organizational commitment, and organizational identification, and is negatively related to turnover and intention. Again, this is a lot packed in one hypothesis. I would break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. Now, let's jump over, because I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I want you to see how to look for dissertations. So let's go back to the Regent Library again. And in this, like I said, you have access to tons and tons of databases. So if you click, instead of summon, click databases, you'll see the different databases here that you have access to. Let's see, dissertation. Okay, so there's two. There's the ProQuest dissertation database that has just about every dissertation ever published in it, including those from Regent. And then I like this because this gives it to you just specifically for Regent alum. Now, why that's important is because the professors that you have will likely, one of them will likely become your chair, and two of them will likely be on your committee. So it's handy to see what have they already done and how do they like to word things. In this case, if I want to look at a doctoral dissertation that maybe, let's say Dr. Winston has chaired, we could just put Dr. Winston's name in here and see what he's been on. We could also look at advanced search. And in this case, I want to look at a quantitative research study. I want the word hypothesis. I also want to look at business and leadership because that's our school. The last 2 years, and the advisor, let's look at Dr. Winston. You could put Dr. Bucarnia, Dr. Henson, Dr. Winter, any of us. You could put our names in there to see what we've been doing. And this will pop up. So this gives you a chance then to look at any of these to see how have they worded the research question and the hypothesis, because these have already been looked at, they've been edited. You've had at least 3 professors that have read this and given their input. So I feel pretty confident that the research questions and hypotheses in these dissertations are very well done, and they'd be a good model for you. Now I've pulled up a few of them for an example. The first one here is, let's look at the research question. Okay, so they put the research questions separate from the hypotheses. So you'll see that this happens different ways. But the research question here is there a relationship between Hexaco's personality dimensions and Kelly's followership dimension of critical thinking? So they're not giving you a statement, it is a question. And it's specific to these 2 items, this Hexaco personality dimension and the Kelly followership dimension of critical thinking. They're just curious, is there a relationship? Now, if we bump up to the hypothesis, we will see there is a significant linear relationship between honesty, humility, and follower critical thinking. So this is very specific. It's saying that there is a relationship, and it's telling you honesty, humility, and follower critical thinking. So these are part of the instruments that were used with the Hexaco and the Kelly's instruments. Now, another hypothesis, there is no relationship between honesty, humility, and follower engagement. Here we have, there is a significant linear relationship between emotionality and follower critical thinking. So you'll notice that there's always 2 elements to these hypotheses. One is going to be an independent variable, and one is going to be a dependent variable. Your independent variable and your dependent variable, one is your predictor, let's say, so where one item is predicting the desired outcome. The desired outcome is your dependent variable. We'll talk more about that in class. Here's another example. In this case, they designed it to where you have your research question and hypothesis right together. So will there be a significant difference in generativity between Hispanic American and European American church attendees? And then here is your hypothesis, simply stating there will be a significant difference in generativity between Hispanic American and European American church attendees. Now with these, what you'll see is that it's rather simple, and that's what I like about it. We don't need to make these complex. Don't overthink it. Pick your instruments, and from those instruments, use the same wording that are in your instruments. Let's look at one more. Let's look at the research question first. Let's see. The research question, do authentic leaders have a positive relationship with moral courage? Now let's look at the hypothesis. There is a positive relationship between balanced processing and moral courage. And I know that these are specific to an instrument. You have balanced processing, internalized moral perspective, relational transparency, and self-awareness. That's all part of the authentic leadership questionnaire. And then you have moral courage, which is another instrument that they can use. So with each of these, you clearly see this is your dependent variable, and this is your independent variable. So pretty simple. There are other examples that I'll send to you, but for the most part, take a look at articles, take a look at dissertations, And get familiar with the wording. Like I said, you don't have to read the entire article or the entire dissertation at this point. Feel free to do some search or find commands and just look at the research questions and the hypotheses. Look at the wording, especially the wording around like a positive relationship or a significant difference. Let's see what this one has. A significant linear relationship. So there's different words that you can put together. I call that my connector of how you connect your independent variable to your dependent variable. Well, I hope that helps, and I hope that encourages you to jump into the Regent Library and start poking around. I'd love to see some of the articles and dissertations that you're using. Have a great day.